or CDMA. We have a 7.1.2 iOS version on 8 gig, and then we have a top right screen with a line crack on the front screen. As you can see, this is iOS 7.1.2 on 8 gig. It has an unknown carrier. And now we have the first thing, we have to turn off the power off by holding the power button with your finger. Just slide the power off. Then once we wait for the loading screen to turn off, we can now finally get the phone, open up the screen and ready for the new screen. Now you can see here, I have a new screen right here I'm holding. This is ready for the new screen for this phone. Now we have to take out the pendulum screws off and just unscrew it. And from the back panel, and it's gonna slide, and I'm gonna slide off the panel screen. So we have to take both pendulum screws off by using the screwdriver. So basically, with this pendulum screwdriver, instead of this, just make it much tougher to fit the screw in while screwing the back panel off with this glass panel. So we have to do just push it with your thumb with this back panel. Oh, it's gonna come right off. And then the first thing, you have to take off the battery by using a Phillips screwdriver. So all I have to do is unscrew it with using a Torx pendulum screwdriver. We can just take off the battery connector off from the logic board. And we can just use this prying tool for the battery. You can just take it right off, and you can gently just take it right off from the back of the phone. And then first thing is we have to take off the antenna bracket first. That's what also attaches from the antenna and then to the logic board. So first thing, we have to take this off we have to take off all 5 screws here. So the cool thing was that has 5 screws on it, has most likely the same screws, as you can see. So it doesn't matter where. Here it can be screwed on the top, or you can screw in the bottom, or the other way. It doesn't matter, but except for this screw, because this is the right pendulum screw, so the left pendulum screw, it should be in the right position. So that's where it attaches to this bracket. Okay, so we have to take off the 3 remaining screws off to take out the antenna assembly. So carefully just unscrew all 5 screws in this antenna. We can just take out this antenna nice and gently, because you don't want to damage the cables. So we have to do just use your thumb, just takes those antennas off. Okay. So right now, there are four connectors right here. One goes to the digitizer, one goes to the power button, and one is the volume button. So carefully, just take these off. Move the camera, the front camera. No, and then we have to do here, take all the rest of the ribbon cables off, just disconnect it right off, and then it's ready to go. And then the first thing, we have to take this off this metal bracket that was from the front camera. So by using this, we can use a tweezer. Just take this bracket off and just slide it straight off, nice and gently. That will remove from this bracket. And then most importantly, you don't want to mix up the screws that whatever the bracket that was attached to this one. Okay, because that way you don't have difficult to put any screws somewhere when you put it back in the right place. Now there's another bracket right here. So this, as you can see, there's a cover right there. That's most likely for more protected. I don't know what's up with the adhesive, the adhesive plastic. So all we have to do just peel it right off using a tweezer. here, and we can go ahead and just take this and take the right bracket off that attaches with a screw on it, and then we have to just use a Phillips head screwdriver using the Torx. Next, then we just put the screw right there, and there's a little bracket right there that attaches right there. And then more importantly, because they have 3 stand-up screws, one is the top, one in the middle. Oh, what I have to do? So we have to also remove this mid bracket, mid bracket, and then one right here, right down here is from the battery connector. And the first thing we have to do is just unscrew that. These two from the screw that's from the dock connector. And you take the tweezer out. Because sometimes metal frames and metal brackets can slip, so that's why we have a tweezer right here. And now with the dock connector, we can connect it, and we can disconnect it. We can go ahead and slide it like that. Just move the remaining adhesive. Move to locate, and just get ready for the logic board to remove. And once that, and then the one last thing, as you'll notice, there's a little bracket right there. There's a yellow part right there that also attaches to the speaker. We can go ahead and remove that. So we can put it somewhere in the right position before we put all the remaining parts of the phone without putting a different screw to one to another. Okay. Now finally, we can use a stand-up screwdriver. By doing so, we can go and just slowly unscrew it. Just comes right off, and there you go. And the first thing we have to do is remove this connector. So this way, all the screws will be missing. Will come off, ready to get the logic board to disassemble. So there's two stand-up screws we have to do for the logic board, and then one right here. Here from the middle, we can also remove the screw. And more importantly, as you notice, there's a screw right there that also attaches to this logic board. We can go ahead and just remove that, and then remove the complete assembly logic board. So let's be good to go. So it doesn't matter which one. Which one comes first, the logic board or the speaker. So I usually recommend remove the logic board, because this will make it easier to get the speaker without damaging any other parts. So the first thing we can go ahead and just take this, disconnect the rear camera or front camera, and now easily remove this logic board assembly like this. See, I don't have to do enough force without any other tools except just a stand-up screwdriver. Now we can take this vibrator motor off. But before we do that, we can also remove the remaining screws from the speaker, one to the left, one to the right. And there's a triangular piece right there, as you'll notice, that also attaches to the left screw. We can do that. Let's remove that. And the first thing is we can now just remove the screw, remove the speaker, the ear speaker. Here that was attaches from the speaker. And the last thing is we just move the vibrator off, the vibrator motor. Just like this. And put it somewhere here until we get all the screws will be set in place. Now there are 6 screws on each side, one on the right and one on the left that has washers, and all 4 sides has 4 remaining pendulum screws. So So more importantly, I would like to do that. I usually recommend take off the Phillips screws or neither. And it's up to you. So I've decided to unscrew the four corners of each screws. So with that, we can go ahead and just unscrew it as tight as you can, because sometimes screws does get stuck because it might be over tightened, or the screws might been there for years. So that's why I put a lot of pressure just to get the screws off. Okay, so all you have to do, you just you just wedge off the screw off, and then we have to get that screw out of here. Okay. And also, you see, you'll notice there's a black piece right there. So I'm not quite sure what made Apple to do this, which they decided to do at this line. But more importantly, because we don't usually remember that what made this a little piece thingy, as you can see, that was covered from the left screw. So that could be no problem. Now we have to do, you just push it hard as you can, then turn it, and it'll unscrew off from the corner. Now as you can see, what you notice, this has a little tiny flat screwdriver. Besides this, it doesn't matter what you use for the screw. Okay, so neither depending how much force you can put. So I usually use a Phillips screwdriver, which it doesn't quite matter which one, just as long as you put too much, as long you have enough time just to get the screw off by using a screwdriver. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and change this. I'm gonna go ahead and change this this screwdriver head, and then that I'm gonna push it as hard as you can, and then wedge it off the screw using amount of force with the screw, and screw it to your left. So these screws will be more importantly if you have any difficulties, the screws will be removed. So, but this is how it does. So as you can see here, but this screw is a little bit tougher. So it'll be no problem. So yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy to get the screw off, but sometimes it might get harder. But because sometimes screws are a bit tougher just to get this out. I mean, hey, if you're 100% guaranteed to be an Apple technician, and you might get used to it. So as you can see, what I'm doing here, this would be my second restoration. And by the way, this is going to be episode 2. And as you see, I'm doing the work on with this phone. So this is going to be a very, very exciting with this phone to be restoration. So right now, as you can see here, with this iPhone 4 with the screw, you're just gonna take the screw as fast as much as you can. I mean, luckily, because this screw doesn't usually have enough. Remember, this screw doesn't have enough force. Right? Because sometimes what you see me I'm doing here. Well, at least a good thing. While we have the screw being removed successfully, we have to just get the screw off by using that force. And as you can see, what you notice, and since I made an amount of since I'm using a hair dryer with the adhesive touch that's also attaches to this. That way we get the screen out. So we have to get the screw out of here. Well, more importantly, because this one here is a little bit tougher. So what I'm doing here, I'm just gonna wedge it off as much as you can, like that. Okay. So as you can see here, so usually I don't usually do enough force, but this is the only part. But this is the only point I'm gonna try to do because sometimes it might be hard. It might be a little bit harder. See, you can see the screws a little bit came off, so it's no problem. But in the first video, like I said, if you have any trouble about the screw being removed, then I would go ahead recommend putting tapes. Usually I put tapes just to put each side on the phone without to prevent slipping. Okay, so it's up to you. If you want to put adhesive touch, if you want to put adhesive glue or put tape, it doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable for this phone, prevent any breakage. Okay, so anyway, so we have all 6 screws and 4 screws up the corner being removed. So I'll go ahead. And just gonna wedge this screw off, whatever there. Well, more importantly, because usually I use amount of heating glass, using heating with a hair dryer. This will much makes it possible to get the screw because it does make a lot of support by using adhesive. But for me, I don't usually put adhesive. Whatever was in the remaining parts of this phone, that was also attached. So that way, you don't have pressure time to wait. So this phone will finally be removed of the screen. As you can see here, I'm still putting enough force. This is does take a amount of time, but meantime it does hold a amount of pressure. Okay, so I'm gonna use a hair dryer real quick, and then we'll be back in a few seconds. So as you see, I'm still putting enough force. If you want, it's up to you. But if you want, I'm gonna go ahead and use a hair dryer as fast as I can to get this wedge off with this adhesive touch. So be back in about 10 seconds. Don't go anywhere, guys. Okay, so if you feel free to pick up this iPhone 4, let me know. I can get back here. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and just get the screw out of here. I'm gonna use a hair dryer real quick for about 10 seconds. Okay, guys, it's about 10 seconds later. So I use a hair dryer using each size on the top to bottom just to get the adhesive touch to remove. What we have to do, we can go ahead and just slide off using a screwdriver. It can now be ready to be removed. So and then I can go ahead and just use a tweezer also. Whatever you feel. Because I know this screw as you can see here, it has adhesive that attaches to the screw. Attaches to this fin, which is really cool. And as you can see, there's a little remaining parts of the screw. It slides, just peel this off, and there you go. The top is off, and now ready to do for the bottom. So like I said before, the adhesive that you see here, I don't know what's up with that. That's why Apple decided to add this adhesive touch. I mean the adhesive glue for prevent dust air buildup. And there you go. And we can go ahead just carefully slide off the screen from this phone without using any force, because there still has some remaining adhesive glue. Okay, so we can go ahead and just wedge this off nice and gently. Okay, and then the phone will be ready. The old screen from this phone, from this metal frame, will be ready to be removed. So we go ahead slide this off. Just don't force it. Make sure you don't push too much force up the screen, okay? Sometimes these screws are very, very sensitive too. I mean the ribbon cables are sensitive. And then we just slide it right off. And as you can see here, there's a lot of adhesive glue. So I'm seeing here. So anyway, here's an old screen right here. I have another screen that also gonna attach this to the new phone right here. See that just came right up on the box. Right here, just make sure. Here, just remove any remaining glass, remaining dust right here, whatever. Right there was that was also attached from this phone. Because this way you won't have a hard time to get the new screen. Have it to put that will sit the frame properly. So all we need here, we're just gonna have to use a little prying tool. Do as fast as you can, and without breaking them. And now one thing I like to do, I usually use a tweezers, so I'm gonna peel it right off. A couple times. But as you can see here, there's not enough dirt yet. Yeah, but that's okay, as long as we can get this phone freely to get the new screen. So yeah, this phone is ready to be for a new screen. So here's a new screen right here. Slide off from this the new one. And here's the old screen on the left, and here's a new screen on the right. If you have one of these great. It'll be ready to be installed. So yeah, this old screen would be ready to be thrown. It's not going to be thrown in the bin, because this is a very disposable. This is a very toxic screen. Okay, so I recommend don't throw it away. So anyway, we have a new screen. We can go ahead and just slide it right on onto a new screen. Carefully put the new screen in back to this frame, nice and gently, okay? Because these cables, like I said before, are very sensitive. If you break them, then that's not good. So what I'm seeing here. So what you see me here, I'm doing I'm putting amount of pressure a little bit, and that's for the new screen to reset. And there you go. Okay, so right now we can go ahead and just finally put all the screws back in the right position using a Phillips screwdriver. So quickly, I'm going to go ahead and screw it. I'm going to go ahead and screw all four corners of the screw until it's straight. But don't force it, okay? You don't want to break the screw, okay? Just like this. So next thing is the bottom, and then we have to do a lot of pressure time. Okay, get the screw in back into place, and now we have two more left right here. One from the top, one for the bottom, and then And then with the next thing is we have to put all 5 screws in except the one right here because I decided to do a new way just to get the screw out of here. So basically, what we have to do, we have to just hold still perfectly and get fit into the screw right here. Because sometimes it's a little bit difficult because sometimes it's kind of hard to see. So okay, so you want to see here, we have to get the screw out of here. Whoops. So I know this screw is a little bit. I know this one's a little bit difficult, as you can see here. But it does take a lot. It does take a lot of time. So once you think you didn't, once you think you might have, once you think it's a little bit difficult here, we can come back here. But this is easier though. Just slide right off to the screw here, and there you go. As you can see here, I'm not doing a lot of force here, but instead I'm just gonna go ahead. So instead, I'm just gonna go ahead. Okay, I'm just going to pinch it this side right here. Here, now it's gonna sit like this. Okay, perfect. Easy, huh? Because I know this screen is a very easy repairability with iPhone 4 and 4S.